Today we are going to explain a mystery, action thriller movie called The American. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film opens amid the icy landscapes of Sweden. We see Jack, a retired assassin who cherishes moments with his girlfriend Ingrid while striving to distance himself from his former lethal life, concealed from her. During a walk, they discover unfamiliar footprints in the snow. Ingrid assumes they're from hunters, but Jack's instincts signal danger. Just in time, he pulls Ingrid to a hiding spot as shots ring out from the woods. Surprising Ingrid, he reveals his hidden gun and eliminates the attacker in one precise shot. Amidst the tension, Jack discloses his lethal skills to Ingrid as he searches the attacker's body. He instructs her to go home and call the police. Yet, the situation takes a sinister twist when Jack remorselessly ends Ingrid's life. He does this because she found out about his identity. Nearby, another assassin waits in a car, but Jack quickly dispatches him too. Fleeing the country, he arrives in Rome to meet Pavel, his handler. Jack justifies his actions, stating Ingrid's innocence, but Pavel's suspicion lingers. Reminding Jack not to form attachments in her dangerous world, Pavel questions Ingrid's intentions and challenges Jack's choices. Pavel takes responsibility for dealing with those who discovered Jack. However, in need of a less conspicuous setting, Jack is directed by Pavel to Castelvecchio, a small town. He travels there using the provided car, but his distaste for the place's size and monotony is immediate. Opting for change, he abandons the given phone, heads to Castel del Monte, a livelier town, and adopts the identity of Edward. Although referred to as the American by locals, he establishes a routine of exercise, cafe visits, and photography outings to maintain his facade as a photographer. Despite his newfound tranquility, Jack remains watchful for potential threats, employing binoculars to monitor Castelvecchio for any signs of pursuit. This vigilance causes him to startle at sounds like a neighbor's scooter. During a vending machine struggle one morning, Father Benedetto approaches him, assisting after Jack admits his ineptitude with machines. Benedetto engages Jack in a conversation, seeking to understand him better. Despite Jack's initial attempt to decline, Benedetto insists and invites him to his home for wine, using his status as a priest as leverage. Later, Jack uses a payphone to contact Pavel, who is angered by Jack's disregard for the cell phone. Pavel proposes a job to create a custom weapon for another assassin, a task that won't involve killing. Jack agrees to ponder the offer. In the evening, Jack meets Benedetto for a drink. Benedetto questions Jack's interest in photography over learning Italy's history, attributing it to his American perspective of escaping history for the present. Jack then travels to Sulmona, observing Mathilde from a distance. When she drops her newspaper, Jack picks it up, indicating he's the gunsmith she's seeking. Sharing details, Mathilde hires Jack for a job, while Jack notes someone watching them, which Mathilde dismisses, claiming to work alone. Upon returning home, Jack notices the same man in town and takes precautions to evade him. Struggling to sleep, he becomes hyper-aware of every noise, keeping his gun close. Days later, Jack collects a significant package from the post office containing the components he needs for his weapon. While assembling the first part goes well, he realizes he requires additional materials for a silencer. At night, he visits a brothel and encounters Clara, a call girl, sparking a connection. Later, Jack assists Benedetto when his car breaks down, leading to an invitation to dinner at the priest's home. There, Jack learns about Benedetto's rapport with the townspeople and the concerns he harbors about Fabio, a local mechanic possibly involved in illicit activities. Jack inquires if Benedetto ever contemplated a different path, while Benedetto sardonically speculates on Jack's past as more than a photographer. Noticing Jack's wealth and mechanical prowess, Benedetto tries to provoke him, but Jack remains unruffled. The following day, Jack deliberately sabotages his car and brings it to Fabio's garage. Initially hesitant to assist a foreigner, Fabio changes his stance when Jack mentions Benedetto. Jack, posing as a hobbyist, requests parts to fix a broken drag shaft, which Fabio offers for free. While searching for silencer components, Jack notices Fabio possesses the same photograph Benedetto had. Spotting Clara on her way to church, Jack shares a flirtatious moment with her. Returning home, he resumes working on the weapon, successfully completing the silencer by nightfall. The next day, he tests the rifle in the woods, confirming its functionality. Celebrating at the brothel, Jack finds Clara absent and chooses to leave instead. In the evening at a cafe, he notices the persistent observer once more. An envelope arrives for him, containing a newspaper article about the deaths he caused in Sweden. Returning home, he takes a different route and remains cautious, keeping his gun close at bedtime. Later, Jack goes to the train station to receive Mathilde, who uses a wig to conceal her identity from prying eyes. He then drives Mathild to a secluded forest spot by the river, a location he believes only he knows about. However, Mathild insists on checking for traces before proceeding. Jack places a picnic blanket, creating an alibi for any potential investigation, then unveils the rifle he crafted. Mathild adeptly assembles it and requests special mercury-loaded rounds. With her own target and expertly testing the rifle, she impresses Jack. She then challenges him to shoot near her at flowers, demonstrating trust. Jack complies, shooting without causing her to flinch, showcasing the effective silencer. After adjustments, Mathild pays half the fee and arranges for delivery by the next month. Bullet casings are disposed of in the river, and Jack uses wine to stage the scene, chilled to match local customs. A butterfly landing on Mathild's arm leads to Jack sharing intriguing facts, earning him the nickname Mr. Butterfly. She playfully questions if he brought women here before, which he denies. In the evening, Jack visits the brothel, enjoying time with Clara. She affectionately calls him Mr. Butterfly due to his tattoo. Sensing his contemplation, Clara inquires, and Jack perceives her concern as insincere, explaining that she can stop treating him like other clients. In addition to his generous tips, Jack admits to Clara that he only interacts with her among the girls. As he continues his work on the rifle and mercury bullets, he takes breaks at the cafe. One day, he encounters Clara, who's going to the movies with her girlfriend. They chat, and when Clara suggests meeting on Wednesday, Jack agrees to meet at the usual place. Clara playfully tries to extract the location, leading to a plan to meet at a restaurant instead. Later, reading about call girls being murdered in the newspaper, Jack grows concerned. That night, he notices the man who had been watching him is now following him. Jack hides in an alley, removing his shoes to avoid detection. Planning to confront the follower, he's thwarted when the neighbor on a scooter arrives, alerting the man. In a quick turn of events, the follower shoots the scooter's driver and flees in his car. Jack seizes the keys and uses the scooter to chase him down. A pursuit unfolds through the town as Jack attempts to eliminate his pursuer, but his shots keep missing. Finally, outside town, he shoots and punctures a tire, causing the car to crash. Approaching, Jack disarms the man and prepares to finish him. He contacts Pavel, informing him of being located by the Swedes, but Pavel instructs him to remain and complete the mission. When Jack queries how he was discovered, Pavel remarks that Jack is losing his touch. Struggling with sleep, Jack's guilt over Ingrid's death plagues his dreams. Despite the early hour, he takes a walk and unexpectedly encounters Benedetto, who embarks on morning walks to thank God and pray for sinners. Jack remarks that all men are sinners, leading Benedetto to discuss how those who strive for peace often have a history of sin, including Jack. Mentioning the nearby incident from the previous night, Benedetto offers confession, but Jack declines and provocatively suggests he knows Fabio is Benedetto's secret son. Benedetto confesses his past mistakes and highlights the presence of someone in his life, a contrast to Jack's solitude. In the evening, Jack joins Clara at the restaurant. He admires how she handles a situation where the waiter assumes he should order instead of her due to her gender. When a flower vendor approaches, Jack buys her a flower despite her protest, interpreting it as a positive sign. Clara senses Jack's hidden truth but accepts his denial of being married. After dinner, they spend the night at Clara's apartment. The next morning, while Clara showers, Jack discovers a gun in her purse, arousing suspicion. Later, he completes the order and buys a suitcase and office supplies to conceal the rifle effectively. Now that his task is complete, he follows Clara to ensure she isn't a spy. Observing her interactions with men, he struggles to discern if they're clients or potentially involved in criminal activities. The next day, Jack contacts Pavel and secures a 2-day extension before completing the drop. In the afternoon, he takes Clara to the secluded forest spot for a picnic. When Clara spots the river, she undresses to swim, while Jack refrains from joining her. Clara discovers the bullet casings in the water, attributing them to hunters, and Jack nonchalantly tosses them back. Amid the picnic, Clara reaches into her purse, causing Jack to tense and grip his gun defensively. Although she's only retrieving sunscreen, his reaction sparks an argument. Clara reveals she carries a gun to protect herself due to a killer targeting call girls. Jack accepts her explanation, diffusing the tension. She invites him to the town procession the next day, and though Jack considers it, Clara ponders the possibility of dating more frequently. Jack firmly rejects the idea, explaining his impermanent stay. In response, Clara kisses him and implores him to remain. Jack's mind is preoccupied with Clara's plea, and he calls Pavel to express his decision to leave after the delivery. Pavel appears to accept this, but he secretly contacts Mathild with a hidden agenda. The following day, Jack meets Mathild at a roadside cafe. Mathild, in a different wig, collects the mercury bullets in a special container, also taking the suitcase. Excusing herself to the bathroom, Mathilde prepares an extra gun. Growing anxious due to her extended absence and the cafe emptying, Jack readies a gun in his pocket. Deciding to wait outside, he's alone and on edge. Mathilde eventually returns with the remaining payment. Just as she seemed about to say more, a bus of children arrives, prompting her swift departure to avoid notice. As Jack heads back to town, Mathilde tails him while conversing with Pavel over the phone, who instructs her to eliminate Jack. In town, a lively procession fills the streets, providing cover for Mathilde to discreetly enter a house, dispatch its occupants, and position herself on their rooftop to observe Jack. Pavel also arrives in the vicinity, orchestrating a sinister plan. In a desperate move, Jack meets Clara and implores her to elope with him. Clara agrees wholeheartedly, and amidst declarations of love, they decide to run away together. Meanwhile, Mathilde readies herself to shoot Jack, but her weapon malfunctions and fatally backfires due to a prearranged trap set by Jack. Observing Mathilde's demise, Jack realizes he's the target and hands Clara the money, urging her to wait for him at the secluded forest spot. Approaching Mathilde, Jack interrogates her about her employer, and she confesses it was Pavel before succumbing to her wounds. Benedetto arrives, and although Jack trains his gun on him, he refrains from shooting, having learned from Ingrid's death. After apologizing to the priest, Jack seeks out Pavel, purposely leading him into an empty alley. When Pavel raises his weapon, Jack swiftly turns and eliminates him. Subsequently, Jack heads toward the forest in his car, but begins to feel unwell, realizing Pavel's shot had wounded him, causing him to bleed slowly. Despite his deteriorating condition, Jack pushes himself to reach the forest. There, he spots Mathilde waiting for him. Fueled by desperation, he reaches out to her, but his life ebbs away before he can bid his final farewell. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.